Today we're going to be testing the new Iron All for Darks. It's a new product, and I'm kind of excited to give you guys a test. The paper basically is a flat, dull surface. There is no flaking as you got with the Iron All for Lights. There's a lot of similarities, but then again, the product is an opaque transfer, not a hot peel transfer. The back is a shiny surface, so you know that's the side you do not print on. I previously made a print, and I used my C88 Plus using Everlast ink from Coastal Business, and I did the text photo mode. And next thing we're going to be doing, or the first thing we're going to be doing, is trimming the image, cutting off all the white borders, and then pressing the shirt to show you what it looks like, and also doing a wash test today. Okay, I trimmed off the excess white paper that I don't need, and I did it on a rotor cut, and these are really nice. You can pick them up at Costco or your office supply stores. I prefer to using this if I can, because with scissors you get a kind of a crooked cut. And well, the next thing we're going to do is prepare this for printing, and the first thing we want to do is peel off the paper backing. You simply make a little tear, and you won't tear the vinyl, it'll stay there, and you peel it back, and you take a look at the print. The print has some fairly decent colors as far as printing surface goes, so we'll see what comes out after the wash test to see if the colors hold up. Okay, what I want to do now is kind of review what we're doing here. Today we're going to be pressing a new Iron All for Darks onto a shirt. Now, what's unique about the Iron All for Darks, which is new, is the fact that it stretches. And when you can actually stretch, I'm going to stretch this because I'm not worried about it, because it's going to spring right back to the original size. And because it stretches, I think this will, and I say think only because this is my first one, that'll take away the problem that we had with cracking of ink. Well, if you stretch it, it should, if you try that with an old type of opaque transfer, you're going to be pulling the ink apart, and that's what causes your cracking. Okay, the next thing we're going to be doing is reading you the instructions, and basically what we're going to do is set our heat press at 375 to 400, medium pressure, and I'm going to press it at 25 to 30 seconds. Now, what's different about this here, on most of my opaque transfers, I actually used to press an opaque transfer like at 6 seconds. So I'm going to adjust my temperature, I'm going to adjust my timing onto my press in the back, and I'm going to line up my shirt. Well, actually, I actually did align my shirt up using the T-square, and the reason I did this is because the video, especially on YouTube, can only run 10 minutes, so I needed to be careful with that. So what I've done was I've taken my T-square, I placed it on my collar. The top, the back plate is in inches. I lined up my seams on the arrows, each arrow on the side. This is like 4 inches, this is 4 inches, and I had that perfectly centered. I brought my transfer down 3 inches below the bottom seam of the collar, and then I centered it inside. I'm at 4 inches on this side and exactly 4 inches on this side. And then, because this is a 24-inch width, I brought it up to the side to show that I am perfectly centered. So the next thing I need to do is get my temperature up to speed, place a piece of parchment paper over the top of the, over that, I'll remove that, place that over the top of my transfer, and then press, and that'll be next. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the 25 seconds. And the buzzer's going to ring, and it did. I lift it up, and I'm going to remove the parchment paper, and there is my design onto the shirt. Now, let's check something. It says it stretches. If I did this with an opaque transfer, it'd be cracking. And as you can see, it's not cracking. I'm very pleased about that. This is kind of exciting, folks. It really is, because one of the problems, I'll be honest with you, I've hated opaque transfers because they felt heavy. This it's a little hot right now, but it feels fairly smooth. It doesn't have that heavy hand that a lot of the opaque transfers have on it. I guess you can see that. And like I said, I'm stretching it, and I'm stretching it every which way. And this is one of the big things. So the idea behind Iron All for Darks is the fact that you can stretch it. It doesn't have a heavy hand, and I think you're going to be able to do some shirts on darks that you never did before. But of course, understand this. This is an opaque transfer. It has a white background, which means if you're using a white background, you need to fill those colors in. Otherwise, you're going to have white showing if you try to think you're going to press it onto a shirt. In other words, you can, most of the stuff you do with opaque transfer is boxed in like this, like I'm doing this here. A lot of people want to do letters and stuff, and my suggestion on that would be go with the Plastisol transfer. So you know what the next test is going to be, and that is the washing test. Now I'm going to say this here, some of the colors seem a little flat. They did kind of like, you know, dull up a little bit, but it still shows that it's got a nice, it's a nice picture still. So, well, it's now been through a wash, and it's been washed in cold water, and as you can see, it basically retained its color. It has a somewhat of a softer feel than almost all the other opaque transfers I've done. I mean, it really is, and the fact that you can stretch it without any ink cracking or breaking up, that's really nice. I think it almost has the same type of feel as a Iron-All for lights. The texturing is about the same. As far as colors go, I think it does dull up a little. I think that just has to do with the fact that you know, it's a digital print, and you will lose some of the coloring from washing for sure. And so that's how that works. By the way, this was done on my C88 Epson printer, and I used the Everlast ink from Coastal Color. And if you guys have any questions, please email me at lou@ljrobin.com. I know I'll see you on the forum for information about the T-square. Thanks, and thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped.